Oh my god, you won't believe what I've just found on eBay. I'm going to have to withdraw some petty cash and buy this.
Darren, this magnificent feast here is the last of the petty cash.
Slow down. Chew your food.
The last of the petty cash went down the drain for Twinkies and coffee and a busted chain.
Oh, hello and welcome to the last of the petty cash. My name's Darren McQuade, the Magic Ghostbuster, and this is
Chris Carter from the Spirit of 84.
Well, we have to start this podcast with a little bit of a negative vibe, unfortunately, so I feel like I should be in my Vigo costume for this. So, at the time of recording, our YouTube channel has been taken down for community standard violations, or whatever that means.
Breaching of community standards.
Yeah, now, I mean, if you've watched our other videos, can you tell us what community standards we've breached? I can't think of anything.
No, to say we're a little bit disappointed would be a little bit of an understatement at this moment in time. We was sort of sitting on the fence as to whether we recorded anything today, because as I say, we're both really upset. I think it's been a week of upset and disappointment, to be honest.
Yeah,
and,
it has been a very bad week of disappointment, yes. So as I say, this is at the time of recording. We've appealed. By the time this actually gets uploaded, hopefully it'll all go back to normal. I have actually been putting these episodes on my Magic Ghostbuster YouTube channel, and I've been doing that a week after they've gone on our main channel, because ultimately that's where we want people to watch it. But worst case, this will just end up on the Magic Ghostbuster channel until we sort.
Yeah, and we'll update everybody as regards where episode 4 will be, so everybody who's been following us and that can obviously continue to do so. We appreciate your patience. We appreciate all the love and the positive vibes we've had from all of you.
Yeah, and it's been really positive vibes, isn't it? And I don't really know more you can say on that situation, really. Like I say, we don't know what community standards we've breached. I've kind of got the theory that somebody who doesn't like us has reported us falsely. Yeah, I would like to think I'm wrong on that. But
yeah, so would I, because I'd hope that, we're trying to spread a little bit of love out there in the community. But as I say, you're never ever going to please everybody.
No, and I mean, I always say, if you don't like us, don't watch us. If you're wasting your energy, like I'll say that about my own Magic Ghostbuster channel. If you don't like me, don't watch me. Go and watch something you do like, and that should apply to anything in life.
Exactly. Exactly. Everybody has a choice. So as I say, for all of the people out there that have proven to be real sort of hardcore fans and following us and sending us kind messages and sort of engaging with us every week. We really appreciate that, and
absolutely,
we're not going to go away. We're gonna push through this, and we will be back better, bigger, stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we did say it's been a week of disappointment, so that we want to get all the disappointment stuff out of the way, because we like to be positive mostly, don't we? But, so our original plan was to record a road trip version of this on the way to Manchester to meet Annie Potts, and with your road rage, I think that actually would have violated some community standards.
Yes, it more likely would,
Maybe YouTube just preempted the episode.
Yeah, potentially it did, yeah. It seems to be that there's been a big pot of negative mood slime going around this week. And
it certainly has. So Annie Potts cancelled due to filming commitments. Now, how long's the drive to Manchester? It's about 4.5 hours, maybe 5 if a stop.
Yeah, it would have been a good 9.5 hour round trip for us. So.
Yeah, so we've decided not to go. We've managed to sell our entry tickets. We got the autograph and photograph tickets refunded, so not a problem. I'm sure it'd be a great convention, and by the time this goes out, hopefully some of you would have been. You can tell us if it was good or not. Hopefully it was good, but yeah, it's just not worth that drive for us now. We're not meeting Annie Potts. That was the only reason we were going, really. If you did go, hope you had an awesome time. Other negative thing, which does link a little bit to Ghostbusters, is the death of the absolute legend Ozzy Osbourne, who did have an appearance in the 2016 film. I had forgotten he was actually in the 2016 film, I'll be honest. Yeah. I've always been an Ozzy fan and a Black Sabbath fan, so that one hit hard.
Yeah, I mean, the loss of anybody You know, Ghostbusters or not is obviously it's not a nice thing. You know, our thoughts are obviously go out to Ozzy's family. You know, it's it's a sad loss, a really sad loss.
And what I do like about him is how he did appear to go out on his terms. He did his final show 2 weeks before he passed on, and I mean, I wasn't there sadly, but I watched some of the clips on YouTube, and considering, you know, all the health problems he's had the last few years, he still sounded pretty good. Yeah. You know, like I know there was some negative things, but you got to take into account his health and all that. I thought he sounded I can't say that word. He sounded better than, well, certainly we could manage.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, very, very sad news. So,
and I'm completely not Ghostbusters related, but I just want to mention Hulk Hogan as well, because I was a Hulkamaniac when I was younger. And that was another one that hit hard, really. It's a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I think anybody who lived through the 80s and the 90s, he was a force to be reckoned with, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think one of the tributes I saw said there is nothing more 80s than Hulk Hogan. He just embodied the 80s vibe, really. And I know in his later life he became a bit more of a controversial figure, but to young Darren, he's basically a real-life superhero.
Yeah, I know. There's a few members of the community this has hit really, really hard. I know, like Danny from Road and that, you know, massive Hulk Hogan, you know, fan all of his life, and you know, through some of the tough times, I know he really, really helped Danny, and I know it's hit him quite hard. So thinking about you as well, Dan.
Yeah,
so
he's a big wrestling fan, isn't he? Yeah. When he went to New York, he went over to their original office. But funny, because when I was younger, I used to cut the bottom of the supermarket bags off and wear them as vests, and then tear them open. Yeah, you could tear them open easy. So, yeah, that's pretty sad. I shouldn't have admitted that.
No, you shouldn't have.
No, well,
your mum had no shopping bags, did she?
no, she had going like, what on earth?
Yeah, I've got 2 halves of a shopping bag, Darren.
Probably why I never was allowed my ectoplasm.
That's punishment for
But yeah, so anyway, should we move on to some positivity now? I think we've got all the negative stuff out. I haven't forgotten anything, have I? Negativity
no, I don't think so.
Pickups, I think, is the first thing we should talk about.
Yeah.
Picked anything up this week?
So in the past week, I've had a few pickups. First one is a really sort of unusual one, and if there's anyone out there that can shed any light onto this, it would be absolutely amazing, because I've reached out to the company and still can't find out anyway. There's no way this is fake, and somebody, if they fake this, has gone to way too much trouble. So we've got this amazing shirt.
And for anyone listening to us, it's got like Slimer in the GB logo with his arm in a sling, plaster on his head, giving a thumbs up.
Yeah, a tooth missing, I think, by the looks of it as well.
Yeah, tooth
and a bit of a black eye.
Yeah.
And then on the back, it says Ghostbusters Stunt Team. So the company is featured on the sleeve, and it's a company called
Enzo. Yeah, ENSO.
So they are. It seems to be a company that's registered in Britain, but they have offices in the States, in Florida. They are a stunt company, a company that deals in stunts within the movie industry. This come up on eBay in America. It was fairly expensive, but I managed to get it the price reduced a little bit. The guy had lots of other movie memorabilia and bits and pieces that he dealt in, like crew jackets, etc. I don't doubt its originality. Darren, your thoughts?
I mean, I think, like you said, if you were going to fake something like that, it seems like a weird thing to fake. And we couldn't find any information about another one. So I think if it was fake, there'd be more than...
There'd be more, yeah. But somebody's gone to a lot of time and effort on that. If anyone out there, I mean, absolutely anyone can give me a lead, shed some light on it, it would be greatly appreciated, as I say. It was just a cool thing to add to the collection. Love the design.
Very cool design. And I guess the real question is, what the stunts for? Was it Frozen Empire? Was it Secret Cinema? Was it
Afterlife?
Yeah.
Was it was it Answer the Call? We really don't know. It's going to be something linked, looking at the age of the shirt, within those three. Yeah,
definitely. It doesn't look old enough to have been GB1 or 2.
No, definitely not. So, if anyone could shed some light, that would be brilliant.
Awesome. I think my latest pickup is I'm wearing it, which is this GB2 t-shirt, which a little bit of a story about this. So I had this maybe 15 odd, it might be longer than that now, trying to think back. And if you don't know, I'm a magician, and I cut it up for a magic trick, which was like a trick where you turn around and your t-shirt changes like in like a second, like that. My intention was to do it with a GB shirt, and then so I cut this one up, and I intended to go to HMV, which is where I bought this, and buy another one, and they never had my size, and then eventually they didn't have them, and that's just been one of those things I've looked for over the years, and I don't think it's like, it was hard to find, and I've had them come up occasionally in like small, XL, you know, the wrong size, so I've always held out, and eventually it come up on Vinted for £10, I think, so I don't think it's like expensive rare, but it's just hard to find.
Yeah, no, very, very cool.
And the reason I was on Vinted was actually because of you.
Yeah, they had the Middle of Beyond jacket.
Yes. It hasn't actually arrived yet, so I'm still waiting for it, but this is the reversible jacket, isn't it? So
with the Slimer on one side and the Gozer Temple and Terror Dogs on the other.
And it was listed for 30. I sent an offer, so we haggled, I got it for 24 plus postage, so I think it was 28, 29 with the postage, and I mean, I can't remember what the original price was. I think you're looking at about 100 quid by the time you imported it.
You more than likely was, and it's a great jacket. I've got one upstairs in the wardrobe myself, and it's a lovely jacket. And
it's always been on my want list. It's just other stuff's always come along, and when you sent me the link to it on Vinted, I was like, well, I can't not buy that, and as soon as it comes, I'll be wearing it in a future episode.
Yeah, so that's my enabler, as Darren calls me, and Trevor as well calls me the enabler. So I'm one of these people, if I know someone's looking for it and I see it, I'll go, oh, maybe you should buy this. Yeah,
and Popular Tripe Nickelways moans at me for to buy stuff.
So a couple of small pickups as well for me. This one more likely be quite difficult to see, but we'll give this a go. And for those that are listening to us, it is one of the Ghostbusters Sensodyne toothbrushes. So
there was 4 of these to collect. They all had a different character on. I shouldn't have to say what characters they were. It was 4 different Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And which one was this?
This one I think is this Peter with slime, or is it Winston?
I think that's Winston.
I've not got my glasses on.
Winston with Slimer.
Yeah.
And it's still in the packaging, and I mean, just looking at it, I just love the old style packaging on these sort of things. It's got like proper artwork around it.
I think this one still has a price ticket from Asda's.
I love the old price stickers. I know some people don't. In fact, I think I said that in the last episode. £1.09.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you could get that for £1.09 now, you'd buy 50 of them, wouldn't you?
Oh, without that,
Yeah, but that's very, very cool.
It's quite funny because, as I say, me and Darren were talking about the price tickets and that the other day. I was listening to Geek Dad, and he was saying how he loves the price tickets as well on Ghostbuster figures and the like, you know. It just adds a little something to it, you know. As I say, some people say it sort of devalues it, but do you know what? I like them. Yeah,
to me it actually adds something to it. And it's funny, I've joined this Facebook group recently about Woolworths, the old store. I don't know if anyone outside the UK would know Woolworths. I don't know.
Yeah, it was an American thing as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is just like a nostalgia group. And it's just people posting receipts or things with Woolworths price tags on. So I'm going to have to go through and find some stuff that I know I've got stuff with Woolworths price tags on somewhere, and I've already posted a picture of a couple of my Woolworths flyers. So
we both have the RGB background that Woolworths done. It was a mail away, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's so much bigger than you ever think if you've never seen one in person. It was like I think it's called a cityscape backdrop. And the funny thing about that, I find, is that if it didn't have Ghostbusters on, it could be anything. It could be Turtles or anything. But, and at one point in time, I seem to remember at one point in time, they went for silly money. Was it a couple of grand or something?
Yeah, it was during COVID, and it come up for auction on eBay, and I was looking at it, and a couple of people, some of the big hitters from America were looking at it, and someone seemed to have sort of
very deep pockets.
Very, very deep pockets. And someone decided he was going to make him pay for it, and I think it went up to about £3,500.
Which is absolutely I would never have paid close to that for it. Because at the end of the day, just a cityscape backdrop.
Yeah.
But, and then I think it was maybe a year or two after that you got one.
Yeah.
And yours was like in the original mailer.
Yeah.
I can't remember what you paid for it. It wasn't a lot. It
No,
certainly wasn't $3.5 grand.
No, it wasn't. No.
I think Amanda would have buried you in the back garden if you paid that.
But yeah, and then Darren managed to pick one up at a really good price, didn't you? So,
yes, it didn't have the original mailer, but I think I got it for about £100 or something, and you know, really good condition. So,
but yeah, all back to the Woolworths. It's I think it's a store we all remember growing up, and as kids, you know, from obviously my time growing up in the 60s and 70s all the way through to my children in the 80s and the 90s, you know, it was...
and just looking at all those toys on the shelves, and the pick and mix was just...
Yeah.
You know, no one's ever done pick and mix as good as Woolworths.
No.
Ever did pick and mix.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good
and
times.
so, final pick-up for me. I've got one of these, I'm sure, but this one come up again...
I'm pretty sure you've got one of those.
On Vinted, and it was cheap. And... it's the birthday countdown, the real Ghostbusters birthday countdown. There might be a little bit of reflection on that because of the plastic. So basically, it's a glorified flat birthday card with this amazing image on the front of it. And you peel away the doors and count down the days until your birthday.
Yeah, so basically an advent calendar.
For your birthday.
Essentially, yeah. How many doors was on this?
I'd say a month's worth, to be honest, more than likely.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you have, because I actually remember... At one point in time, you had bidded on one, and I had messaged you to find out if you were bidding on it, and so I held back.
Yeah.
So I do remember you getting one. Yeah. I managed to get one maybe a year or so ago.
Yeah. There's 14 doors on there down.
So 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, but no, they're very cool. Maybe you should open one.
No.
No. All right.
Yeah, okay. No. It's as simple as that. There's more than likely, I'm hoping behind there's little individual pictures from Ghostbusters or RGB. So yeah, it's
and what I like about that sort of stuff is that stuff doesn't come up much, because obviously most people would have opened them and then they would have went in the bin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but the main bulk of this episode was we are going to talk about costuming and starting your own Ghostbusters group, because that's a question you see a lot on different fan pages. Someone says, how do you start a Ghostbusters group? So should we start with that and then move on to costuming? So, Chris, how do you start a Ghostbusters group?
I think for me, when I started Spirit of '84, I sort of had this idea in my head, and I suppose you can overcomplicate it for yourselves. Yeah. I think, you know, you're worried, should I be doing X, Y, Z? You know, I think you get concerned. You look through somewhere like Facebook, or you look at a lot of the groups, and you're thinking, how do I achieve this, and what do I have to do to get where these groups are? You've got to bear in mind, obviously, a lot of these groups have been around for a long time, but they all started somewhere.
Yes, everyone started at the very beginning with nothing, essentially, and you know, you've got to think about what you want as a group or an individual. You know, some groups will go out and do massive displays. We do in our group, the South End Sea Ghostbusters. Not every group has to go out and do a display. There's no obligation. You can just turn up in costume and walk around. There's no obligation to do a display. So think about what you want to do as a group. I think the starting block really is a Facebook page or a social media
presence, definitely.
Well, before that, probably picking a name, actually.
Probably the so again, that can, you know, obviously, if you feel you're going to go out and do cosplay or costuming, you know, you can pick your name according to the area you live in, which obviously...
Yeah, that's the most common thing. And again, it doesn't even have to be a group. You can go as a solo. I mean, I go as a solo called the Magic Ghostbuster. So, you know, you've got options like that as well. But it's like the most common is to call yourself the South End Sea Ghostbusters, the Essex Ghostbusters, those sorts of things. I do think we should mention that just because you've called yourself the South End Sea Ghostbusters or the Basildon Ghostbusters doesn't mean you're entitled to all the gigs in that area.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work like that.
Unfortunately, some groups do get a little bit...
angst.
Yes.
That's a nice way of putting it, because Darren was going down the word. Yeah. He was looking for pissy, but I didn't let him use that one. So.
No, he didn't. And ultimately, the people that are running the conventions or whatever want who they think is the best group for the job. And, you know, they're probably, if you've not got a display, they're probably not going to pick you over the a group that's maybe 2 counties away but has everything. So you've got to think about that. There's no territory thing.
That can lead to sort of problems further down the line, and maybe that's not a good way to go with it.
No, definitely not. So just basically start your social media presence is probably number one, really. Once you've picked your name, get your logo designed. If you're getting a logo designed by someone, pay your designer. I really hate people that expect that stuff for free as someone who does design work. And then just go from there, really. Just post stuff, go to conventions, in costume, get your pictures, post it up. And eventually, stuff will start coming in, basically.
Yeah.
And why not approach your local conventions and just say, do you need a display if you can provide one?
Or even groups. If you're in an area that's saturated and there's a few groups, if a group's worth their salt, at the end of the day, this should all be about having fun.
Yes, number one.
And being nice to each other, So, if there's another group, approach them. Say, would you mind if I come along? I'd like to come out as a Ghostbuster. I'd like to come out and troop today. It's my first time. I've set up this little group. A group who's worth their salt should say to you, yeah, of course, come along, spend the day with us. Yeah. That's how we, at Southend, that's sort of how I ended up with Southend on Sea Ghostbusters, and also how we've recruited other members since. Yeah. Because we've invited people along to spend time with us. They've kept coming back and coming to more and more conventions with us, and then we see what they bring to the group, and then normally we're throwing an invite out eventually.
Yeah, and for us as a group, it needs to be people who are friends of ours or become friends of theirs.
Yeah, or fit in definitely. Yeah. A good point would be like John Miller. Okay,
fantastic.
John come along. He done a few conventions at LFCC. He hadn't gone out and trooped as a Ghostbuster. I don't think John would mind me saying, he lacked a little bit of confidence to do this. He come along. We are a really welcoming group, and we do try to welcome everyone to come along and spend time with us. John slotted in lovely, and he kept turning up and going, well, do you mind? No, of course not, John. And eventually the group decided, what does everyone think? And we put it to a group vote, and
and I voted no, but unfortunately I was overruled.
You was overruled, Darren. John's got the looks. He's got the tools and he's got the talent.
That's why I didn't want him in. I'm only joking. We love John. But also, if a group says no, they don't want new members, don't get upset about it, because some people just want to keep within their friendship circle. So there's different reasons why people want a group. Some people might want a group that expands over the whole country and has 100 members, whereas some might only want to keep it to 4. So just think of those things as well.
And at the end of the day, you don't have to start a group with the views to trooping or something like that. You've got a specific love within Ghostbusters. I know. I'll go back to sort of like a point a few years back. Joey O'Brien. Joey's speciality was RGB, cells, animation, etc., etc. Joey never really wanted to go out sort of trooping as a Ghostbuster, but he brought such a lot to the community with his knowledge and that within that field. When I started Spirit of 84, it was never with the views to me going out trooping as a Ghostbuster. It was, I love Ghostbusters. I wanted to post about Ghostbusters. I wanted people to post stuff to me about Ghostbusters. I just wanted a fun, safe environment for people. And I think that's really quite important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no obligation you have to go out and troop. And also, there's no reason you have to necessarily start a group. You can just put on a costume and go out. You don't even have to start a group if you don't want to, So there's all these options really for you. But I know some people get a bit thingy because they think like you have to be fully officially registered with Ghost Corps or something. And I think that comes about through that marketing gimmick with the certificates they did for 2016, which if you don't know, it was a marketing thing where you registered your group and they sent you a certificate signed by Ivan Reitman. And some people took it to heart a little bit too much. It doesn't mean that your group is officially endorsed by Ghost Corps or Sony. It was a marketing gimmick.
Yeah, and even Sony admit that themselves.
So if a group without that certificate is no more official or unofficial than a group with it.
No. As I say, it is very important if you do set a group up. is to think about rules within your group, and try to be strict with your rules when, as regards your admin and people that help you. You can't do it all by yourself.
No, you can't. You like to think you can,
Yeah,
but you can't.
yeah. So as I say, set some strict rules and guidelines.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I can't think of any rules or guidelines at the moment. What rules do we have? Rules in Southend?
I think at the end of the day, we try to treat everyone equally with respect. Okay, no hate posts, no trolling, stuff like that. I think it's quite.
You mean I shouldn't have sent that message to James earlier?
You shouldn't have sent that message to James. No.
Sorry, James.
Yeah. So yeah, stuff like that. It's if you want to do, if you want to learn the do's, speak to me. If you want to learn the don'ts, speak to Darren.
Yeah. Right, so now we've discussed about setting your group up. I think we probably actually done this in the wrong order, because before starting a cosplay group specifically, you really need a costume.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a case of you do need your group to reach out to people, or you can reach out to other groups and say, I want to get a costume together. I want to get.
How do I do it?
Exactly. What do you recommend? I think everybody likes to sort of do the best they can with it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things to remember is that it's your costume, so you can go about it any way you want. Some people will want the most accurate proton pack possible with real clippered valves and all that. I'm one of them. But some people will just be happy with an 80% spirit pack, and if that's what you're happy with, that is completely fine.
Some people will be happy with a cornflake box,
yeah,
with some yogurt pots on it. And I'll tell you what, hats off to you, because I would encourage the hell out of you if that's what you've done.
Yeah, absolutely. I was at a party maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the young lad whose birthday it was had made a proton pack out of cardboard boxes and all that, and I mean the detail on some of it was incredible.
Yeah,
done a brilliant job. So there's many ways you can go about doing proton packs and that sort of thing, but flight suits, I guess, is the first thing.
Yeah.
And again, they can range from normally at Halloween you normally get really cheap versions in the supermarkets.
Yeah,
they normally have some cheap print on.
Yeah, people like Joker's Masquerade as well.
Yeah,
they sell a cheaper version.
Yeah, and then you can go all the way up to like the Magnolia flight suit, and then all the levels in between.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to sort of look at your budget. I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got to look how quick you want it. If you want a Magnolia flight suit,
yeah, was it this for a few months in it?
It's more likely 4 months.
Yeah.
Be very careful with your measurements, because most of the Magnolia stuff is made to your specific size.
Yeah.
So it's always best if you can get the chance to try on somebody else's flight suit to give you a gauge for it.
Yeah, I mean, I wear true spec flight suits myself, and I do want to get a Magnolia eventually, and I'm just gonna say make it the same size as this. I can't remember what size I'll wear now, but I'm just gonna have it made in the same.
Extremely large.
Yeah, yes. Well, it's got to fit my ego.
Yeah, that's it. Fit your ego or your Vigo.
Yeah.
But I mean, as I say, it's down to the individual. And at the end of the day, you want to wear a bright blue flight suit with a Ghostbusters logo on it, wear it. Yeah,
some people do that. Some people want bright pink, or I've seen steampunk Ghostbusters. So there's lots of different options. Like you say, budget, I guess, is really going to factor in what sort of flight suit you end up with. And if you want to go with the classic khaki one, ultimately 99.9% of the people who are going to see you out are not the hardcore fans who are going to go, that pocket is slightly wrong there, and that zip isn't there in the film.
Yeah.
So ultimately, as long as it's a khaki flight suit, most people are going to know it's a Ghostbuster.
Exactly.
Get your patch on and your name patch, and you can get name patches done very cheap.
Yeah, about £4 or £5 on eBay, or you can go to the out sort of, if you're looking for the ultimate no Ghost logo name patch, you're going to go with somebody like Todd Cook Designs.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really anybody out there better than him at this moment in time.
Yeah. And then once you've got your flight suit, I guess the next part is your elbow pads. I think GB fans is probably the best version. Their shipping can be a bit slow.
Yeah.
But I think they might sell them on Amazon actually. Or they did at one point.
I'm not 100% certain on that. So.
And I'm pretty sure they've just done newer versions as well.
Right.
But I think GB fans are the best ones. But because they're what are they? They like karate knee pads or
volleyball.
Something. That was it. Volleyball knee pads. So a lot of people just spray them grey.
Yeah.
Which is the way to go if you want to go the cheaper route. Which is again is fine. Just cut the ends off and spray it grey, and you're ready to go.
Pistol belt.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the all important bit. Obviously, there's various discussions about the exact shade or colour of the pistol belts.
Yeah, I think it was actually bright yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was.
So you've heard it on here first. Okay. We reckon you should buy bright yellow pistol belts.
Imagine that become a trend now.
Yeah, that's it. If there's any comeback on that and you get ridiculed, direct it at Darren.
My name is James Riches.
Yeah.
The Southend-on-Sea Ghostbusters.
James. Pistol belts. So pistol belts tend to be a colour or shade of grey.
Yeah.
Like a pearl grey.
Yeah, generally. And I've seen people go from white all the way up to dark grey. So, but I think really the truth is somewhere in the middle of that, isn't there?
I think what you have to appreciate is obviously when people are trying to, especially in the early days, when people are trying to replicate Ghostbusters costumes, you're looking at something that has studio lighting on it.
Yeah.
And lighting can play...
Oh, massively. I mean, there's... I think the GB2 flight suit is actually probably a very good example of that. And not Star. This isn't Star. This is Star Wars, not Ghostbusters. Star Wars is Han Solo's Hoth jacket is another one, which I think is brown but looked blue in the film and was blue on the action figure.
Yeah.
And with the GB2 flight suit, they're actually charcoal grey, but they look blue in some of the stills.
That's correct. And I've got to be honest, I've got a Magnolia one, which I think is about one of the best out there for the GB2. I've worn it and had various photos in it, and some days it looks as grey can be. Yeah. And I've got literally a photo which somebody gave me the other day from Ghostbusters Day, and it looks blue. Yeah. You know, so as Darren says, you know, lighting, everything can play a real big part in that.
Absolutely. So you've got to take that into consideration as well, really. But I think as long as you get some sort of shade of grey, I think you'll be fine generally. Yeah. And if you are going with the GB2 version, there was black. Yeah. The belt on that. So, and then once you've got your belt, if you want key fobs to go around it, or any holsters for any equipment you have, PKs and so on.
Ray Egon.
Yeah, I mean, it does the best, really. I'm sure there's other options out there, but Ray Egon really is my go-to, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
No, I say reach out to Dave. Dave Isaacs, a lovely guy, absolutely lovely guy. We do hate him for meeting Bill Murray. But
I forgot him there. Right, okay. Don't buy anything from him.
Nothing from Dave. No. Okay, no. No. All joking on one side. No, he's a lovely guy. He's very helpful, and again, another guy who's got his business model. You know, we keep going back to these people that have the perfect business model, and Dave's one of those. Yes,
and that is one of the problems. We're not going to go too much into this because I guess we don't want to go back into the negativity thing. No. But there's been several prop makers over the years that have took money off people, promised something in 5 weeks, and then 2 years down the line they've received nothing. And then just do your research, I think, is all I'm going to say. I don't want to name names or anything, but do your research before you hand over.
And sometimes it's not necessarily the fault of some of these prop makers. Sometimes they're a victim of their own success. So
I think a lot of them, they don't plan to be a scammer, but they keep taking orders and orders and orders, can't catch up, spent that money, now don't have the money to buy the materials, and it's
a slippery slope. So say, do your homework with any props you're buying. That way, I think it saves everybody a lot of grief.
And never send friends and family if you're doing PayPal. You got to protect yourself. I know we like to think, you know, we're all friends, but unfortunately there are dodgy people in every community, so just always protect yourself, basically. I think is all we can say on that.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, if it's, you know, it's like, I mean, if it's somebody you've known for a while, you know, and you've got a really good relationship, and worst case scenario, you can go around and knock on his door, by all means, use friends and family. If it's somebody like Darren, never ever send him anything, friends and family. So
No, absolutely not, because that will just get spent on GB merch.
That's it. Yeah. Well, we'll split it between us.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, it is very important to protect yourself with regards to this, and just make sure that you're, obviously a lot of these things are handmade by people. Just be realistic as regards timings and that. Make sure you're happy to wait as long as they're telling you need to wait. Okay, so. Everybody gets a little bit impatient. I'm the world's worst when it comes to stuff, so it's
and especially if you're sort of getting new into the cosplay community and it's approaching Halloween and suddenly you want the best Ghostbusters costume ever made kind of thing. Got to be realistic. That is the time when the prop makers get extremely busy.
Yeah, prices go up, as I say, and I mean, it can be quite stressful. I had something many years ago I won't name names, but with a gentleman who made Freddy Krueger masks in America, and I'd ordered my Freddy Krueger mask for Halloween, and it was the best one out there. I think I've dropped about £600 or £700 on this mask, and and come the day before Halloween, my mask still wasn't there, and we had a massive row, and believe it or not, he actually FedExed it overnight, and I got it for the morning of Halloween.
That is impressive.
But I would never do it again. That was way too stressful for me. So
but it's an impressive mask, and I thank you for wearing it for this video.
So costume. So we're working our way down. So we've got to look at boots next. Yeah.
Boots, yes. Now I've always struggled with boots myself, because if you want accurate or fairly accurate boots, they go up, halfway up the calf sort of thing, and I've never really found boots that I was comfortable with, and I tried many different types. They're not quite as easy to get over here as I think they are in America, because you have a lot more of the military surplus stores in America, don't you? But to me, it's Magnolia all day long. I bought a pair off of, I can't remember who I bought them off now. I didn't buy them direct. It was someone who had bought all that stuff, and then I think they gave up, so they sold them. And the most comfortable, they're so comfortable.
Yeah.
I did put some insoles in them, but fit perfect. They're nice soft leather. They're not hard. They didn't require a lot of breaking in. They are, they're not cheap, but if you can afford them, I highly recommend those boots.
Yeah, I wouldn't cut corners with boots.
No.
I mean, obviously, originals you're looking at Corcorans.
Yeah.
But I've got a pair of Corcorans and I've got Magnolias. I wear my Magnolias all the time. I think they were a really good investment. As Darren says, I put inner soles in mine. You're going to be on your trotters a fair bit of the day, so it's quite important.
Absolutely, and it is the area you don't want to go cheap on, I guess, because you're going to be walking around a lot. If you're doing the whole proton pack thing, you've got a lot of weight on your back, especially if you're walking around a lot. If you're at a stand, you're on your feet quite a lot. It can be quite tiring.
Yeah.
I'll admit sometimes I will wear trainers. I don't even wear boots.
Yeah.
So I think comfort is the most important.
And if you find that something screen accurate does not suit your needs, you're going to be uncomfortable in, and then you just wear whatever you're comfortable in. Yeah,
because ultimately, I think if someone's looking at your feet and going, "Oh, they're the wrong boots," maybe the rest of the costume needs a bit more attention. Because as I say, comfort. I think comfort over screen accuracy all day long with what you're wearing on your feet. And even if you just got some plain black shoes and have them untucked, go for the Venkman look. As long as they're comfortable. 100% comfort all day long on that one.
Yeah, you can't. That's the one area you can't cut corners on.
No, definitely not. And then I guess we're on to equipment now, aren't we?
Yeah, equipment. I mean, how much or how little you decide upon, is down to you.
And you might find yourself at the beginning adding more equipment and slowly taking things off the more you go. So when I first started, I had trap, PKE, walkie-talkie, belt gizmo, proton pack. Nowadays, I just barely wear a flight suit.
Yeah, that's it. It does become a bit like that. I think the novelty of running around with a heavy pack on, that soon wears off. Unlike the pain in your back.
Yeah.
Because as I say, I mean, a lot over the years. I mean, we touched on this in some of the early podcasts we've done. We were saying, you was very restricted on where you could get a pack from, and a lot of us went down the route of Ben and Kent, and Ben's a great guy to deal with. But my God, do you know when you've built a Ben and Kent pack and put everything in it?
Oh yes, you certainly do. 'Cause it makes me laugh when someone wears a HasLab pack and goes, "Oh, this is heavy."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "No, mate."
You haven't got a clue.
Not a clue. And the HasLab packs, are great packs as well.
Yeah.
Like, I must admit, I still wear my Ben and Kent when I am doing the Ghostbuster, but the older I get, the more I think, do I switch out to the HasLab one?
Yeah, it's I mean, my Ben and Kent upstairs. I spent years working on it and just sort of dabbling away. And Kieran, bless him, finished it off for me, the last few bits and pieces, and it is incredible. I mean, the sand in it is amazing. It looks incredible, but my God, does it weigh a lot?
Yeah.
It's So I tend to nowadays sort of switch into the HasLab pack, and obviously, if you was lucky enough to have funded the new one, we're going to get the 84 pack, and again, that's going to be nice and light for trooping and that.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And then, of course, there are other options nowadays. You've got the Spirit Halloween packs, which come in two. I assume they still sell the two sizes.
Yeah, they've got the full size and the 80%, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. So, and again, if you're happy with how they are out of the box, fine. But also, they make a very good base for modding if you want to start modding things.
Yeah, I've seen some amazing Spirit packs where people have done some incredible work on them. So, yeah. And again, it's down to budget. And obviously, sometimes it's down to your skill as regards, not everybody's cut out to be a prop maker.
No, that's very true. We all have our own different skill sets. Some people are great at it, some people are okay at it, and some people will be absolutely rubbish at it. It's just the way life is.
But I mean, take... as we said earlier on, if you're going to build a pack and you're unsure, ask around on the community, ring around, sort of see what's what. And there's also the option to, buy a pack that's in kit form and then reach out to people and say, I always say, and this goes even throughout my work life, right, there isn't such a thing as a silly question. There's a few silly answers, but there isn't such a thing as a silly question. So if you're unsure what size hole to drill or where to drill it, ask. Yeah. Because we've all been in that situation.
Yep, and we've all drilled a hole in the wrong place.
Yeah. I mean, the thing which amazes me is after all these years, there is not a concise set of instructions on how to build a pack.
Yeah.
Not a concise set which will list your drill sizes, hole sizes, positions, everything, As I say, back in the early days, the only set of plans we had to work from was Stefan's on GB fans and that. And I say, I don't think people realise how lucky they are today.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously back then you didn't have 3D printers, and nowadays you can get files that just print it off, and it's crazy how the world has changed like that. And but I mean, that's packs. So there's loads of options for proton packs. Other gear, traps, PKE, belt gizmo, and again you can go. I think is it Spongeface probably does the best belt gizmo, which is a really good version of the circuit board, which is from a calculator. If you didn't know, those calculators sell for £500 now if you're lucky to get one. Or I've seen people 3D print them as well.
Ectolabs.
Yeah, Ectolabs.
Ectolabs was a very, very good. My belt gizmo is an Ectolabs one. Got to be honest, there tends to have a waiting list for his run of belt gizmos, but brilliant instructions, concise kit, goes together beautifully. Couldn't really fault Ectolabs for me. And again, things like goggles. You've got lots of options with goggles. Yeah,
so you go back to the Magic Collector ones. If I felt they were a tad undersized, just enough, not a lot, just enough to make them slightly uncomfortable to wear. But I wore them for a while, and I did actually mod them, and I was actually quite pleased with the modding I did on those back in the day. But now you've got Ruby's, Spirit Halloween, it's just basic ones you buy at the shops. But then again, 3D printing. There's lots of prop makers that make those things now.
And again, we go back to Martin Bryce. He makes really lovely Ecto goggles. I'm trying to think who else we've got out there. There's
I can't remember now with Ecto goggles.
Yeah, but there's lots of room out there to find something which fits into your budget and something you're comfortable with.
Yeah, and there's even I can't remember the name of the company now, but there's a company that does they're very cheap Ecto goggles. They do a trap and they do a PK meter, but they are static. They're basically lumps of plastic. There's no movement or anything in, and you know, again, they make a good base if you want to mod.
Yeah,
certainly. And you know, I've seen people paint up the trap to look good, just hang on the belt because it's light.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a very, very lightweight trap that clips onto my belt. There's a company out there called Moby who do some stickers and that you can replace and put on it. You know, door stickers that look weathered and worn. You know, and all the dial stickers and that, and it turns a really cheap looking trap into something quite nice just to hang on your belt, because people are just going to glance at that and go a ghost trap. That's all they're going to do.
Exactly, and it doesn't take too much effort really, does it?
No.
So, you know, a decent splash of paint, a bit of weathering,
yeah,
you know, and away you go, basically.
I mean, a ghost trap is one of those things as well. In kit form, it's fairly easy to build.
Yeah.
So how far you take that, lights, smoke, etc.
Yeah, and there's loads of options with that nowadays. I mean, my main trap that I use is still my Matty Collector trap, which I modded the hell out of, you know, with real resistors and all that, and painted it up. And I still personally think that electronic-wise, that is the best out-of-the-box one, like the whole trapping sequence. You've got the HasLab one, fantastic trap. I wasn't overly impressed with electronics in it, but someone, I can't remember who, has now done an upgrade motherboard for that.
Right, okay.
So it has the proper trapping sequence rather than pressing the pedal and it just shuts automatically.
Yeah.
But I can't remember who's doing that.
It's not Dirt Farmer Industries, is it? I don't know.
Can't remember now.
No, we'd more likely need somebody to correct us on that one, you know.
But that is a lump, that is. And I mean, so much heavier than the Matty Collector trap. I don't know if I'd want that on my belt.
I've got to be honest, when, you know, I'm not going back to it, but obviously when I was on the set of Frozen Empire, I was fortunate enough to be able to handle one of the real traps. And what Hasbro have done with their trap, it's the closest thing I felt to a real trap on set as regards weight, etc. So I don't think anyone's come as close as that. So
no. I mean, I was really shocked when I picked that up for the first time, because you know, ultimately they are toys.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect it to be that heavy. But I mean, when you pick it up, I know I wasn't massively impressed with electronics, but as a thing, it's so impressive, the quality of it.
Yeah. And disappointingly, mine is still sitting in the box unopened in my hallway. I should open it at some stage.
You should open it. Maybe we could do that in one of these videos.
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
And then I think the only other bit to talk about of the main equipment is the PK meter.
PK,
Again, options. I mean, go back Matty Collector.
Yeah.
I still use my Matty Collector. To me, I still think that's the best version. The sound wasn't correct when it came out, but I managed to buy one of the upgrade kits that changed the sound. Yeah. Obviously, you've got the HasLab one there. It's a much bulkier one, which is accurate to the film because obviously they put the extra electronics in it.
Yeah.
And then you've got, again, from Spirit Halloween, you've got so many different options now. And again, prop makers. Yeah. You know, and I think back in the day, it was probably a harder bit to make just because of the mechanisms.
Well, I think Simon Gray from Chorley Ghostbusters at the moment, he actually recently acquired an original Iona shoe polisher, because the PKE was actually based on a shoe polisher from the sort of 70s, and he's currently quite a way through doing the build of a PKE meter, so it's maybe worth sort of dropping onto his Instagram, having a look at him at Chorley Ghostbusters, and getting him to maybe, I don't know if there's some pictures on there, or if not, getting him to drop you some pictures. Fascinating build, really is, and fair play to him for taking it on. Yeah, and you know, that's what I find funny about the weathering on PK meters. Everyone always weathers silver. Yeah. Whereas really, it'd actually be red. Because of the colour underneath. But I mean, whether they sort of sold it as it was a shoe polisher, I don't know, you know, as regards that, you know. And I don't know, did they only ever come in red? I don't know.
No, I'm not sure. I think I've only ever seen, I might have seen a different colour now, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I wonder if anyone's ever modded one, so it's half peaky and half shoe polisher. So you can scan for your ghosts and polish your boots at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe if Simon's listening, he should change up his build now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I don't think Simon's listening today, but...
no, I don't think he is.
So, I mean, that sort of covers sort of the basis of getting yourself sort of kitted out and out there. As I say, you can take this as far as you want or to the minimum you want, really.
Yeah, absolutely minimum. I mean, you know, because you get those Halloween ones where it's a flight suit and inflatable proton pack, and if you're happy with that, great.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas if you want to do what we do and, you know, instead of having 3D printed clippered valves, buying real valves and making sure all that, again, great. It's ultimately, you're the one who's got to wear it.
Yeah.
So do what you want. And if you want to go absolutely mental with your costume, you know, make it completely different. Have a pink proton pack with a yellow flight suit.
Or go down the road of the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, real Ghostbusters.
Go down the road of the cartoon. I mean, we've seen over the years, I think Darren will verify this, we've seen some amazing variations on suits. I remember a guy, I don't know if it was at New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, who done his whole suit and pack as an Ecto-Glow figure.
I remember seeing that picture.
Yeah, he was one of Pete Venkman Ecto-Glow figure. Yeah, absolutely incredible. So, yeah,
brilliant. So I think that has covered everything for the Ghostbuster flight suit. But Ghostbusters doesn't just have Ghostbusters in it.
No.
There's plenty of other characters, and we'll just go over some of those quickly. So I guess shall I talk about my one first? Really, is Vigo.
Yeah, Vigo.
I never always have long hair. I grew it during COVID, and I think it was all you guys kept saying you should do Vigo.
Yeah.
So one day I went away and made a Vigo costume.
Yeah, we couldn't think of anyone more fitting of the part, you know. So so Darren, he was 3/4 of the way there.
I've got the grumpy attitude.
He's got the grumpy attitude.
To destroy the world kind of vibes. So it was perfect for that. And so I've done 2 versions of Vigo now. So my dream was always to do that in leather, but leather is very expensive. So I found this like worn brown material, and went away and made it. And I didn't even tell you guys I was making it, did I? I just sent you a video one day of like, look at this. Yeah,
it was like a faux leather, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was,
And it was pretty decent material, to be fair. And I mean, I put a lot of research into this.
Yeah.
Looking at pictures, you know, I was freeze framing the film, looking at behind the scenes pictures, doing measurements. I was buying bits of like vinyl just to cut bits out, make sure if it fitted okay. So you know, probably a research side of things went, you know, probably just as much as the actual making of it. And then I wore that for maybe a year or 2, and then decided to do it in leather.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best decision ever made because it.
No, 100%. I think Darren, you chose to do it at the right time as well, because I think you was working on it when the original costume come up for sale.
Yeah, which gave me some brilliant reference pictures, or when it was up for auction, they put the pictures up. You could zoom in, and I was like seeing things change, like some of the studs and stuff, and I could see like where I'd had them the same size on the collar and the gauntlets here, they're actually different sizes. So little things that I guess you wouldn't really notice, but I've now noticed. Now I need to change it.
Yeah, I think you become your own worst critic with anything that you do with regards to costuming and prop building, you know, and you do things and you go, that's not quite right now. I want to strive for the next, and you're constantly trying to adjust and you know.
Absolutely. And I've put so much work in it. I've never done leathercraft before. I learned that all just to do this costume.
Yeah.
One of the other big changes, I started making my hair blonde because I don't get on with wigs. Obviously my hair's dark brown. And then I managed to figure out a way of making it blonde through a couple of different layers of spray, which I think added to it in the end. Because That was the one thing I was never happy about it at all. I was glad I changed that. And again, like you say, your own worst critic, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we desperately need. I know Darren didn't come to New York with us this year, but we desperately need to get Darren at Ghostbusters Day in New York with the Vigo costume, because I think he would go down an absolute storm. So.
And I definitely need a picture outside the museum.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Yeah. I'm just envisioning me on the steps in the pose and all the Ghostbusters around on the floor dead.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah. And then, so you've done another costume as well?
Yeah, I done one that I've always sort of toyed around with, and I love the character. I've done Tully. Again, it's the most difficult thing about the Tully costume is to do the
colander.
The colander.
Is that? I can't remember the correct term for it now. And I think in a more recent years, there's been
spectral analyzer, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah. You can actually buy a Tully costume nowadays.
Yeah.
Of was it Halloween costumes?
Halloween costumes. I've got to be honest. A couple of the bits to just get the shirt and the yellow undervest. I think I just bought those from there. I bought trousers which were suitable. I had shoes or boots or trainers at the time that were suitable as well. But I spent a lot of time doing the the spectral analyzer.
Yeah.
So I initially years ago I bought. It is a specific colander. They tend to come up mainly in America. It's a specific size. So I bought one from America about 15 years ago, and that sat in my room waiting for me to get round to doing it. And then in the meantime, I'm trying to think, it's Phil at Man Cave Puzzles. I managed to get a complete kit off him, which included the colander, the full wiring diagram, all the resistors and that. So I bought that off him, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you follow the instructions carefully, it's not an overnight thing, because you have to put every little coil, twist in the wires, attach everything. But what a great build.
Yeah, and it looks great.
Yeah.
Like the job you've done on that is fantastic. And if you don't want to go to that level, the costume does come with a cheap plastic one, doesn't it?
Which we use at conventions for people to have their photo. We put it on their head, put a pair of glasses on them, and
Yeah, and I mean, us talking about these costumes, I guess isn't really helping people make them, but it's just to show that there are other options out there. You don't have to be a Ghostbuster. And I mean, Dana's dress, her Zool dress, is now quite an easy thing to obtain.
Yeah.
I think that's been sold by HalloweenCostumes.com and Spirit Halloween. I know my girlfriend has a Spirit Halloween one. Gozer, I've seen Gozer costumes for sale, but to me, one of the best Gozers is Ellis.
Yeah, Ellis, bless her. She's absolutely incredible. She's done quite a few gigs with us.
Absolutely incredible Gozer. I can't remember her Instagram name. Is it UK Gozer?
I think it is. So check her out. On there, Ellis Walker.
Definitely. You won't find a better Gozer.
No, definitely not.
And then Hannah, Chris's daughter, has done Janine. Again, absolutely fantastic. She started off doing GB2 Janine, which was, I sort of compare that to my Vigo in like the way, like the first one was great, but then she done GB1 and it was just like,
she's
so much better. And it was like, and it was one of those where originally you didn't think it could ever be improved upon.
No, I've got to be honest.
She did.
Literally, she went down an absolute storm at London Film and Comic Con as GB2 Janine. And absolutely nailed it. She's got the voice down to a T, the mannerisms, everything. And and then she said she was going to do GB1, and she come out with this GB1, and wow, I defy her at the moment there to be I know she's my daughter and I'm going to be biased, but I defy there to be a better Janine GB1 out there, and again, hopefully she's going to come to New York with us next year. And she'll showcase both of them out there. But yeah, she absolutely rocks it, and she's got an Instagram. I think it's Janina84
Yeah, I believe it is. I can't remember exactly, but something like that.
Yeah, it all ties in with the Spirit of 84 group.
Yeah.
But give her a look at, and I mean, I think you can see her on the Spirit of 84 page as well. I know she's my daughter, but yeah, she looks absolutely incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, that's just to show that there are other options out there. There's less info on all these other costumes because I mean, 99% of people want to be a Ghostbuster with Proton Pack. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But just do your research. Basically, if you want to do a Gozer, do the research. Look what other people have done. Look at screenshots. Look at behind the scenes things. You know, for any of those characters and you know, maybe you could go even a bit more obscure if you want. I mean, you know, Halloween costumes now do Scoleri Brothers masks. Why not?
Yeah, go as a Scoleri brother. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Obviously, you get inflatable Marshmallow Man costumes, Slimer costumes. I've seen people make their own costumes of those as well.
Yeah,
Some, you know,
I think
absolutely incredible.
William Bryan, who was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, he was doing an online Patreon to learn how to build a screen accurate Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
And you won't learn from anyone better.
No, he's the master. He's the man that built the original.
He was the man. So you'll never learn from anyone better to make that. You know, and I've seen people who are in wheelchairs that made it into like an Ecto-1 design around it. So there's so many really cool options out there for doing different Ghostbuster costumes. We've seen we've had someone come dressed as Phoebe. We've had someone come dressed as Podcast.
Oh yeah, the little lad dressed as Podcast. Yeah, he was killer. Yeah. No, we've had some really some great people doing.
Yeah. And I think with these things, don't get so caught up on like how everything has to be 100% accurate. As long as you get the rough idea, people will know what it is. I mean, Lewis Tully, for example, his shirt is blue, but it's got like the shiny stripes on. If you can't get that, a blue shirt, yellow undershirt, trousers, and a colander, people will know who you are
without doubt. You know? You could wear anything, put a colander on your head, and
and I do want to give a shout out actually to another Lewis Tully, Luke, who has come to a lot of gigs with us as well, and does a great Tully, and certainly got the mannerisms down. For him as well.
Yeah, no acting lessons there.
No, definitely no acting lessons. You won't find a better Tully outside of Rick Moranis. All I need now is someone to dress as Janosch.
Yeah, Janosch,
Yeah, so hopefully that'll happen one day.
James.
Yeah, James. I keep telling him,
He
stick a wig on, because I don't think he's ever going to get his hair permed up to the amount that...
But yeah, he could actually make a really good Janosch.
I think he could actually be scarily good. Yeah, definitely. But anything else to add on costuming? I can't think.
No, I mean basically, I think the only limit is your own imagination.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another thing to say is there are no rules, only guidelines. Yeah, you know, it's your costume.
Yeah, don't let anybody tell you it. You know, as you say, as Darren says, it's your costume. You own it. Yeah. Okay, so don't let anyone say, oh, it can't be this, it can't be that. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, if you want to do a crossover, I mean, you know, you could do a crossover with Turtles. I'm sure I've seen someone do a crossover with Turtles before.
I've seen Stormtroopers.
Yeah, Stormtroopers.
Yeah, so yeah, there's.
I made a figure once, so this isn't a costume, but I made a figure of a ghost-busting Dalek.
Right.
So if any Dalek builders out there want to do that, there's an idea for you.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, lots and lots of possibilities.
Yeah, you know. And, you know, if you do make a costume, post a picture of it on one of our posts.
Yeah, share it.
Yeah, doesn't get taken down next.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But please share anything you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we'd love to see sort of your costumes, you know, or please share anything that you've already done. You know, we'd be interested to see them. You know, it'd be great. We'll share them on the Facebook page.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you ever see us at conventions, come and say hello.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, you know? That's really important. So
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But anyway, I think that wraps up this episode. And are you ready?
Yeah.
So we are ready to believe you.
The last of the petty cash went down the drain for Twinkies and coffee and a busted chain. No more donuts, no more caffeine rain, just saving the city and feeling the strain. Ray's got a plan, but it's held with tape. He gone Egon's experiments always misbehave. Venkman's flirting, but it's all escape, while the bank account looks like a dried up lake. The last of the petty cash went down the drain, for Twinkies and coffee in a busted chain. No more donuts, no more caffeine rain, just saving the city and feeling the strain. Ray's got a plan, but it's held with tape. Egon's experiments always misbehave. Venkman's flirting, but it's all escape, while the bank account looks like a dried up lake. The last of the petty cash went down the drain, for Twinkies and coffee in a busted chain. No more donuts, no more caffeine rain, just saving the city and feeling the strain. Janine shouting, the budget's toast. Ghost traps buzzing, but we're broke the most. No time to worry when there's a haunting post, but who knew fighting